Hi, friends. Welcome to spring break. This week I am sitting on my front porch, pretending that I am going to welcome you all into my house. And I thought that while we are all spending a bit more time at home than perhaps we are accustomed to, it would be a good week to think about the Lord as our dwelling place, the Lord as our eternal home. And if you open your Bible to Psalm 90, and Psalm 91. Psalm 90, verse 1 says, Lord, you have been our dwelling place in all generations. And over in Psalm 91, 1, it says, He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will abide in the shadow of the Almighty. Now, Psalm 90 is a prayer of Moses. It might be the oldest psalm. And some commentators think that Psalm 91 is also a prayer of Moses. And if you read the whole psalm, it will make a lot of sense to you to think that that it might have been written by Moses. It really seems to fit. But think about that. Think about the Lord as a dwelling place for Moses and his people during the years when they didn't have a dwelling place. They had tents. They were walking around in the wilderness. And they were there for a long time due to their own bad choices. And yet the Lord was still their dwelling place. The Lord was still their home. And that just gives me such comfort to think that whatever changes, whatever happens, whatever we're going through, we are at home in the Lord. And in the New Testament, that concept is kind of turned around. Let's see, 2 Corinthians 6:16 says, For we are the temple of the living God, as God has said, I will dwell and walk among them, and I will be their God, and they will be my people. So God has chosen to dwell with us. And yet, Jesus talked about abiding in him, choosing to live with him. And he even spelled out exactly what that means in John 8:31. This is the Amplified Version. If you abide in my word, continually obeying my teachings and living in accordance with them, then you are truly my disciples. So abiding in his word is just obeying it, just choosing to do it. Not just closing the book and going on with our day and forgetting what we read. I think that in this season, perhaps more than any other time in our lives, it's going to be very, very important to open our own Bibles, to make sure we are getting spiritually fed. It's really important to meet for our online worship. We can still get a little bit of a sense of fellowship. And it's so important right now to hear our pastor's words, to hear what's on their heart. What is God teaching them? What is their message for us as a congregation? But it's really important to hear from God and to read his word. And I know, we're all in Bible study together. We know this. We hear it all the time. You need to have a quiet time, la, la, la. We say this all the time. And yet, I don't know about you, but just with the complete absence of routine and just the kind of underlying anxiety that's going on right now, it can be really easy to lose that routine, to lose, just to forget to read the Bible or to put into practice other spiritual disciplines, meditation, maybe going on a prayer walk. All the things that maybe I was doing 3 months ago are just a little harder right now. And I don't know why that is. I certainly have lots of time now. But this is when it's really, really important. If I start to feel spiritually empty, it's most likely not the fault of my church leaders. It's my fault for not opening my own Bible and going to the Lord and say, be my dwelling place. Help me to be at home with you, to abide in you, to follow your word. And how am I going to follow it if I don't open it myself? So that is my encouragement to you today. Open your own Bibles. when we're done here, read Psalm 90, read Psalm 91. Remember that they were written to specific people, specific groups of people, at a specific time. For example, Psalm 91, if you read the whole psalm, you see it's written to someone who's the people around him are being punished for some choice they've made, some sin. And the Lord is telling him, no, you're going to be okay through this. And so it's important to remember that that was written to a specific person at a specific time. And the Lord might not be promising you and I that we'll never be sick or never come to any harm. Read the New Testament for more details on that. The book of John says that in the world we will have tribulation. Hard times will come, and maybe we're in the middle of something really difficult right now. But the Lord is our dwelling place, and that isn't going to change. So open your own Bible, read it. If you're not in the middle of reading a particular book of the Bible, obviously I'm going to tell you to read Psalms. I find so much comfort there and so much encouragement. But, maybe read John, read Luke. Read one of those books that shows you Jesus in action. There's nothing more encouraging than that. So read your own Bible, and also reach out to somebody. Which Salt sister have you not heard from this week or this month? Reach out to each other, send a text, send an email. Goodness, we might even have to pick up the phone. Anyway, I hope you have a lovely week. I hope that Easter is extra meaningful this year, even if it's different. And I hope we get to meet together soon. Thanks.